Well, welcome back to the In Good Company podcast, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. And today's guest is a fellow St. John Fisher University graduate. He's got the same last name as me, so real win there. He's got this incredible product that he's launching and just got started with it. I'm going to try it live on the episode today. Without further ado, Caleb Thomas.
How's it going?
Great, man. So good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah, dude, always. And listen, we connected. There's a guy that works in our marketing agency named Sal. We connected, mutual friends with him. And you just have a really cool story. And I think for some young entrepreneurs listening, people that have ideas, but they're not willing to maybe make that leap or make that jump. We were talking ahead of time, and you've basically taken all the resources that you've got, and you are all in on this idea. So give us a little bit of a background and then dive into the idea that you've got here that you're getting ready to launch.
Yeah, so I think it all started with going to school for the most part, right? Being a first generation student in college, that was an all-in jump. Paying for all the stuff on my own, right? I have all the loans myself. That was a risk in itself, and it paid off, and it worked, and everything came out full circle to the best way it could possibly be. And so I decided to do that with my business too, right? There's nothing that could go worse than being at home and not having a job, right? So I think I really was focused on being an entrepreneur, having the freedom, abilities to be creative and do what I wanted to do. And this opportunity came in front of my hand where I saw freeze drying, and that it could basically help retain all the nutrients of food. And diet, health, fitness has changed my life. And I wanted to create a product that also could do that for other people. And so the focus of Real Food and Fruit for Real is to revolutionize the way children snack and how families approach eating for children.
That's incredible. Yeah, I can tell you, having a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, that they do snack. Yeah. And he eats his dinner or tries to, and then we get up to bed, and the first thing he does when he gets in bed is, can I get some pretzels? Can I get some goldfish? You know, he's always wanting to consume things. So I think for some young families listening, I think they're going to really get a kick out of this product. And obviously in the bio, you guys can click and order and all that fun stuff. But, you know, the real hope today is I just want to dig in a little bit more on the story, because you just graduated. Yep. Like how old are you?
22.
22, right? And there's a lot of people that maybe are in their mid 30s that they've had these Shark Tank type of ideas, but they just haven't jumped in. What has that process been like for you? Because you're still in the early stages where this is not a huge money maker for you. So talk about how scary is it? What have the steps been like? What encouragement might you have for someone that's kind of leaning in and they haven't quite made that jump just yet? Scary
is right. I think we talked about it before, but I had the opportunity to take a job or do this full time, and having the job is doing this on the side, and I understood that the job was something I would like, most likely, but being able to pursue my passions and be true to myself, promising myself that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And there was no time like the present. And recognizing that and understanding that, I know that we're only wasting time doing things that we don't like. Whether or not, okay, I'm going to go make 40 to 60K a year at this job. Okay, but what am I getting out of it? Is it money? But is money really what fuels us? Is money what gets us going? And I understand that money is what kind of gets us going financially and able to live here and there. But if you don't worry about the money, if you have the resources to, maybe if you're young 20s and you're living with your parents still, take full advantage of that. Or if you have a significant other and you're in your 30s and whatnot, ask them if you can take the risk. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with taking the risk, spending the money on it, and then going back to a normal job if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And that was the exact thought process in my head.
Yeah.
Knowing that if I bet on myself, that things will work out eventually. And another thing too was recently in April, a little bit after my birthday, I recently got baptized. And so following the faith was something that was really important to me and really encouraged me to do this. Understanding that God has a plan for me, us, and that if we just listen to him, he'll lead us in the right path. And that has been a huge reason to that. And so for others who may be having these conversations in their head and may not know, they're kind of self-doubting. And I think fully committing to your faith is a huge reason why a lot of this has come to fruition. And
No pun intended, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Um,
Yeah, I think one of the things, again, wherever people are at with their faith journey, it's like the feeling of faith and fear are really the same.
yeah.
It's just whose voice are you listening to?
Right.
And so if you're an entrepreneur, you've got this great business idea and you want to take that step out, fear is always going to be there in that
Every day.
faith journey, but it's whose voice you're listening to as you take those steps each day. And so what I love about your story is you have been taking these incremental steps. You're not foolishly jumping off the cliff and just hoping that somebody catches you. Talk through the process, and then we're going to get these snacks out and I'm going to give them a try. But talk about the process from, okay, I have the idea, but now I need packaging, and now I need a place, like a facility to actually do this. And there's all sorts of regulations with food and all these components. Just talk a little bit about each step of that process and how you've been able to kind of check those boxes along the way.
Yeah, and I think most of it comes down to, one, the access that we have to the internet on our phones. I learned everything on my phone.
Yeah.
Just researching, looking things up, and then also diving into a network. Obviously, luckily enough to have the connections through Fisher, I was able to reach out to some people who I knew had graduated, and I got linked in actually a Discord.
Oh, great.
Yeah, a Discord chat, and some people helped me with the designing, helped me with the packaging, and then helped me figure out some of the different regulations and rules because they were all over the country. And so I think finding a network that you can go to, ask questions, and bounce ideas back off of each other is huge.
That's huge, man. And again, one of the premises of In Good Company is there's a lot of solopreneurs that feel like they got to be, the end all be all. And this is my idea and I'm keeping this from people. And what I love about your story is you've actually brought alongside people that maybe have skill sets and things that you don't have. So you may not be the best designer, but you bring in someone that can design a logo, can build out the bag. Why don't you pull up one of the bags and just kind of show the camera, what we're working with here. Obviously this doesn't feel like a startup bag. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Talk a little bit about where did the design come from? Obviously there's a little smiley face in there. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. That was the intentions, is I wanted to build something that was real. And so there's a lot of puns that I have in my head on real food. And it goes back to humans being real, our food being real, and everything that we're doing being real in the moment, being present.
Yeah.
And so my roommate and I, all year long, past 2-3 years, we lived with each other. We just constantly bounced ideas off of each other. And everything that I had said was met with harsh criticism from my friend. And it was all good because we got the nitty gritty down and figured out these little things. And I asked him to design a logo, and he came up with this entire logo.
It's fantastic.
So I do owe him a thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then the idea was, a lot of people think when I tell them I have a business and I tell them it's freeze-dried fruit, they think it's some, dainty packaging and whatnot.
Sure.
But I really wanted to make it something that could sit on the shelf next to a bag of potato chips, in the future.
Yeah.
Those Fritos, those Lays, where people have to make the decision of, do I go with the real food or am I going with the chip that I have no clue where it's coming from?
Yeah.
And that is really a lot what it comes down to, is focusing on that part, making it something bigger in my imagination than it may actually be now, trying to make that happen, manifest.
Yeah.
That.
It's awesome, man. Well, I'm gonna give this thing a try. You can get the other bags ready. So I'm gonna start with the freeze-dried apple. This is live. I mean, I've never tried these. We've been, I've been knowing about these products. We've been talking about this idea. Very easy to open. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, obviously you can check out our YouTube channel to see a little bit more of the visual. But the one thing I'll just point out, I mean, these are they look like apples, right? So I've seen like dried products that just look really wrinkly and they don't have like all the colors gone. It's like the apple's brown and it's flat.
Yeah.
What's the difference between what you're doing and what maybe some other competitors are doing? And I will wait to eat this until you answer.
The main difference really is the shape and the feel that it has, right? So it's gonna have that crunchy feel and then the full shape. So it is emulating how chips are.
Yeah.
But it helps kids to learn what they're eating and to build healthy habits going forward. So like myself growing up, I didn't understand healthy eating and whatnot.
Right.
This offers the ability too for parents to have a really convenient, easy way to give their children fruit and have it look the same way. So they're growing up knowing what they're eating.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Freeze-dried apples, test number 1. Incredible. This is great. And the skin is not getting stuck in my teeth like a normal apple.
Kind of dissolves in your mouth.
Wow. It's like firmer, obviously, but it almost is like a cotton candy type of melt. You know what I mean?
Right.
It kind of feels that way.
And that's very effective for little children as well.
Yeah.
So having them eat this growing up, so it replaces some of the foods that we may not know what it actually is.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a mushy stage.
Nothing stuck in my teeth. I mean, that was really good. My daughter is 1.5, and for any parents out there, it is the most scary thing when your kids are going from milk to solid food. I mean, it's petrifying. And there's all these Instagram ads that pop up of like, here's this choke suction that you should buy if you're a good dad, you know, and all these fear tactics, because it's scary out there, man. Okay, so this one, strawberries, the moment I just opened this, the smell alone is fantastic. Again, these are same idea. Looks just like a strawberry. It's not flat and wrinkly. Let's give it a try. That's my favorite.
Strawberry's your favorite?
Oh, I mean, I haven't tried the last one, but
right. Another thing too that I like,
I'm eating another one,
is I like putting it in my mouth so that it melts a little bit and then continuing to chew it. It almost brings back to that actual strawberry feel.
Wow. That's great. I can't wait to take these home. I'm not sharing these with anybody.
Yeah, right? Give them to the kids.
Well, maybe if they behave. Okay, freeze-dried bananas. Final take here. And where do you get this fruit from? Before I eat this one, just talk a little bit about, do you have a specific partner or farms or people that you work with? Are you kind of in that testing phase right now where you're trying to find the right partner? How have you been able to find some of that?
I would say the testing phase for the most part. A lot of what I'm getting my stuff from now is a local wholesaler out of Syracuse right now. And me not necessarily knowing exactly where the stuff is coming, but knowing that it is, organic produce that they're getting out of a Syracuse wholesaler. But eventually I would love to have it to where I know it's coming from farmers, so that I'm able to give back and support the local areas around. Obviously with bananas or pineapple or some other things that might not grow here yearly, there's a problem. But with apples specifically and strawberries when they're in season, peaches when they're in season, trying to go locally and source those as much as possible so that my product is giving back to them as well.
Yeah.
So they are helping me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a huge thing in terms of scaling and growing, where it's people really do care about partnering with kind of that feel good story, right? And I think what I love about your story is you give courage to other entrepreneurs that are out there. It's like you pursuing your dream gives people the courage to pursue their own. Right. And so again, even as we're speaking and I'm holding this freeze-dried banana in my hand, it's like, this is at the start of your journey, and I can't wait to watch this back and just go like, bro, remember when we sat here and we were talking about this idea, and now you got all sorts of other fruits and things that you're doing. So just don't forget about me when you blow up, All right, here we go. Final taste, banana. Here we go. Looks like a banana. Looks great. Oh, man. Is this one my favorite? Dude, these are all really good.
The taste is almost enhanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, the smell of the strawberry, it came through the bag, which was fantastic. Wow. I'm taking all these home. These are terrible. You guys shouldn't buy them. I'll just take them all. Thank you. Awesome. So that was a live taste test. Let me go in order of my favorites. Is that all right?
Please.
And then I'd love to hear your favorites right after this. Yeah. So are these the only 3 that you offer right now? Is this the
Currently the 3 offerings, but we are testing different fruits.
What are you guys testing?
Pineapple and peaches.
Okay.
Yes.
What about mango?
I have tried mango, and
Okay.
a lot of people like mango.
Yeah.
But the process was really hard to do from one of my facilities.
Got
I think
it.
in the future, when the facility is much bigger, there's a lot more personnel. I think mangoes
Yeah.
in the future.
I was just curious because my son is absolutely obsessed with mangoes.
Children love mangoes.
Yeah, just
Adore them.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Adore them. That's a great word.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he does. Every single morning goes in the freezer, gets the organic mango out.
Yeah.
All right, here's my order, I think. I'm going to go strawberries 1, bananas 2, apples 3
Wow.
in order.
Okay.
The strawberries just really pulled me in, bro.
Yeah, I think they remind you of summer.
For sure. Oh, it's
100%.
it's over. I love them. What's your favorite?
My favorite is the apples.
Wow. Okay.
Second favorite, which we don't have yet, is pineapple.
Wow.
Pineapple tastes unbelievably good.
Yeah.
It's just a sweeter pineapple,
Yeah.
and it literally reminds me of like crackers.
That's really cool, man. And I honestly wonder, as you're navigating and experiencing this, as people are listening to this, I feel like there's a lot of input that can come from your potential market and your audience that's out there. Obviously, me getting the chance to taste this, I now can see, holy cow, this can really offer and really change the dynamic of my son's eating and all those things. Do you have any influencers or, and again, as we have an audience here, it's like, do you have any opportunities for people to, get a sample bag or anything like that? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, just genuinely curious. Do you have any plans in the future to maybe start to allow people show up at festivals or whatever it is? Do you have any of those kind of thoughts kicking around?
Yeah, so currently working on getting some smaller packaging, so it's even more snack light, like a few bites type things, so people can actually try them without committing to a full bag, not knowing and not wanting to waste. So being at festivals, being at different shows, different outdoor things, or being at different sporting events, people are able to try these.
Yeah.
And even looking into having them online, so people can just buy, a little bag and try, and maybe even have these for gift bags, certain things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the future, yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, just comment free sample in the link and we will figure out a way to get you some.
Yes.
They're absolutely incredible. And then obviously if you're listening as well, you can figure out a way to reach out to us. Shoot me an email, mike@mikethomasmedia.com. We'll make sure to get you a free sample. Talk a little bit more about building the business side, because this is the fun part, the packaging, the process, right? All that stuff. It's like you're just slugging it out. But are you really going to a facility by yourself? You're picking up the fruit, you're going to the facility, and you're working 8-hour days, just putting fruit in a freezer, whatever thing. Like, what is your day to day? I mean, are you it? Is this the process?
It's all me, and it's not quite 8 hours. The process, luckily, it's nice to where right now, with the size of machinery and stuff, it's maybe 3 to 4, because the process takes about 24 hours.
Yeah.
But being able to just sit by myself and cut all the fruit, process it all, package it all, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
Instead of going into a 8-hour job sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah.
I don't mind sitting there for 4 hours cutting fruit.
Yeah.
When I know it's, creating a different value than what I'm actually putting into it. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
It's awesome.
And it's inspiring to know when people are actually buying it. So when it's actually coming out and as people are ordering stuff, it makes that work far more easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any new products? I know you mentioned some of the fruit stuff. Is there anything on the horizon that you'd expand outside of fruit? I'm sure veggies I'm not a huge fan of veggies, so they probably taste disgusting. But do you have any other concepts or ideas? Nothing to promise people, but just out of curiosity.
Vegetables are gross when they're freeze dried. They just in your mouth, they really just kind of crumble.
It tastes like dirt. Yeah.
Tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's no moisture in it whatsoever. But the eventual plan is to allow real food to expand with your child as they grow up. So having different products, similar to maybe puffs when you're 0 to 2 or however, whatever age it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a little young to understand how old kids are
You got
with
it.
these stuff.
You got it.
And then going into anywhere from, a baby to when they're, teenagers, having something to where this product can grow with them.
Yeah.
And it can grow with your family.
So one of the things I love is I run a marketing agency called Thomas Media Group, and I see a lot of times where clients or people that are trying to launch a business, they will really create a flash in the pan type of presentation, but they don't have the systems to support the actual idea. And what I love about how you've been able to build this is you've reversed engineered that, where you've been making sure that you have the packaging, the website, the purchase system, all of those things ready. And now you're getting ready to market. Maybe talk about, why did you take that approach? Why haven't you been screaming from the rooftops that I've got this great idea and you guys got to check this out? Why have you taken this kind of reverse engineered approach of getting these things in line before you start talking about it?
So I did originally do a lot of testing. So at school, I had a lot of testing. So people bought some just test bags with no label and stuff. And I had 40 bags and I sold out in 4 days.
Wow.
From just word of mouth. And so I knew I had something really special. And knowing that as long as I had a solid backing, you've seen a lot of different things, especially I think in like the crypto market is a good example.
Sure.
It's blown up out of popularity, and then there's no foundation for it to continue to succeed. And so I wanted to build that strong foundation to where if I do build something on it, I know I can build it as high as I want because the foundation is so strong.
Wow. So Fruit for Real, 10 years from today, we're in 2034 at this point. You're 32 years old. You got a wife, kids. They love fruit. They're just out of control. I'm just kidding. Maybe they do. But where's the biz? 10 years from today, where is your business from a value standpoint to products to what do you see 10 years from today?
I mentioned it earlier. I want to be right on the shelf next to Lay's chips. I want people to really be having that conversation within themselves of, do I want to eat this stuff that is known to cause cancer, or am I going to eat something that I know is actually healthy for me? So putting the question back to the people and having them make their own decisions and making the tough decisions that they need for themselves and for their families.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being in your Wegmans, Walmart, Targets, all these different stores so that they're in front of people at all times.
Yeah. One of the things about your story that's really encouraging for some of the young listeners is your generation is not waiting for an opportunity to move. And so what I mean is, like, I think historically, a lot of people are waiting for permission to do the very thing that God has called them to do. And I see, my 10-year-old cousin up the street loves baseball, and he gets his iPhone out and he's learning iMovie and he's posting YouTube shorts and he's just doing it. He's not waiting for someone to tell him, here's how you edit and here's how you whatever. He is going, receiving the information and applying it. What has that been like for you, where maybe you're entering this market with huge businesses that have been on the shelves for years? Do you ever feel intimidated by your age, intimidated by your experience? How have you been able to balance kind of some of those fear dynamics?
Yeah, I think the age thing is huge for the most part when you're talking to people and how they talk to you and how they receive information that you're giving them. Because a lot of times it's a wow factor. They're wowed by what you're able to do at such a young age. But understanding that once we are into the world, we're all equals. No matter, maybe you are more experienced in this, but you're more experienced in that. I know this. But we're all just humans at their base level, right? And I think understanding that and treating people the way how they're supposed to be treated, right?
Yeah.
Just individual one-on-ones. That really is kind of my focus. Knowing that, okay, maybe we have a bigger store like a Wegmans or a Walmart, but what is it that they're truly trying to do? What are their values? And we understand that they're just trying to maximize profits, maximize growth for the most part. I'm really trying to change the way people eat, live, and, survive as families.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think this is probably a piggyback on that question, but when you take a look at your life and you take a look at what's in front of you now, what would you say is Caleb's greatest contribution to the world? What is that thing that you want to be known for as, this was the mark that I made, not just at St. John Fisher, not just in New York, but this was the mark that I made on the world? What would you say is that greatest contribution that you're going to make?
An impact emotionally, spiritually, and then physically as well.
Yeah.
Right. I think helping people take back control of their lives a little bit, not having to worry about different, diseases, different health things, knowing that they're able to grow up healthfully and enjoy life to its fullest. That's the impact I want to make. That's what I wanted to do all through college, through my products, through my words, through my aura, as everybody is saying now, right? Is to make that impact that lasts.
That's what the kids are saying nowadays.
Right, that's what they say, right?
I'm learning the language.
I'm a little out of it, but my little sister helps me a little bit.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah. How old is she?
She's 18.
Oh, good. Okay. Where's she going to school?
She's gonna do real estate.
I love it.
Going to school, so she's taking that chance, betting on herself.
Let's go.
And going to do some real estate stuff.
I love it, man. That's great. Yeah, she took that encouragement from you, man. She saw you.
I hope
she saw you make that jump. What has it been like to navigate for a young person listening that they really care about the opinions of their parents? They really care about the opinions of kind of the outside voices in their life, and you should, and there's a healthy tension there. But I can't imagine when you left with all this debt and this big degree and all these things, that when you go to your folks and say, I'm going to go sell bags of fruit, like I'm not picking on you. I just can't imagine that's a conversation that's like, attaboy, go get them.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I think for the most part, I didn't really put it up to my parents as a decision.
Right.
I just did it like we talked about.
Yeah.
But constantly my mother is asking, so did you apply for a job today? Stuff like that. Once my dad was like, so you're just gonna go get a job and you're gonna quit this? And so some of it's unmotivating, but I think we have to realize and recognize that we are in a different time than our parents are.
For sure.
And they might not be accustomed to different things. They might be accustomed to the norm.
Yeah.
Right. And I was actually fortunate enough to speak at my graduation at college. And I talked about a lot of people conforming to norms of society. Yeah. And we have to really break through those things. You don't have to go to college, get a 9 to 5, work your butt off until you're 60, 65, probably 70 by the time I'd make it.
Yeah.
And then you have no money. You have worked your entire life where you're able to actually go and do things.
Yeah.
And then now you're 7 years old, you have grandkids, you have kids, and then you're actually able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I think recognizing and taking what your parents are saying, taking it in, absorbing it, and then trying to think about it in different ways.
Yeah. And again, we're in a very different time.
Very different.
There are, 12-year-olds on TikTok that are making money, right? Or their parents are, because they're not 18 or whatever it is. But it's like there are so many avenues because of the internet, TikTok, Instagram, the whole deal, where people are creating merch in high school. They're coming out with little products and different things. People are paying to watch them play video games. I mean, we are living at a time where, get off the video game. You need to get a job. This is my job.
Right.
Crap. Okay. Well, I guess so, Yeah. And again, there's a balance there, but it's a very different time that we live in. Do you have any friends or peers that kind of match this tenacity that you have? Because again, I think about my college days. I'm just like playing Xbox, the majority of the time, going to class, doing my thing. I didn't have this entrepreneurial drive just yet. I kind of felt like I was in this waiting season.
Yeah.
But you didn't wait, right? You went for it. Do you have peers and other people that you've been able to kind of lean on and kind of walk through in this stage?
I think we all have these conversations, whatever age or stage of life that we're in.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, for example, my roommate and we talk about it all the time. Business this, business that. I want to do this. I want to do that. But there's certain things that stop some of us. And I think it is that continuation of betting on yourself and taking that leap when your friends maybe aren't willing to. And you have to be that first one to do it. Be that first one to jump off the bridge, as they say.
Yeah.
Right. And then maybe your friends will follow you. So I think it's creating a friend group, creating an environment that helps build this type of relationships with your friends. Because none of my friends have gone and done their own businesses.
Yeah.
They've all kind of went and doing the 9 to 5, right? They're making great money and they enjoy it. They like it. But knowing that I'm thinking about when I'm 30, when I'm 40, when I'm 50, rather than maybe right now.
Yeah.
But trying to stay in the present moment.
Yeah. And the other thing just to mention is not everybody this is not a better or worse type of conversation.
No.
Like there are many people that going under the vision and mission of somebody else and being their right-hand man or woman to really carry that forward is one of the most admirable things, right? And there are people that they have great aspirations to travel and to do other things where, hey, my job is not my identity.
Right.
It's just what I do to actually give me life and give me the freedom that I'm looking for over here. So again, this is not trying to, force somebody to be an entrepreneur, but I think for those that maybe have that entrepreneurial spirit, you do got to make that jump. You do have to at some point decide, is this just going to be a dream or, kind of an idea, or am I going to actually turn this into a reality? Yeah. And I just want to encourage you, man, you are in those early stages of doing that. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of the journey and even just trying this and being a part of it. We have this part of our interview that we call Fails of the Week. And it's one of my favorite segments that we do where we basically, social media is one thing, but it's freaking hard being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So any fails either this week or maybe over the course of your journey so far that you just feel like are worth sharing? Maybe you tried a fruit and the machine exploded, or maybe it's not that serious, but any fails that you could share with our listeners?
I would say the biggest fail was not starting with pineapple. Yeah, doing it. I never even tested it. And then we tested it and tried it, and it blew me away. And I really wish I had done that. But now I can do it in the future.
There you go. Now, would you change the packaging? Because there's no pineapple on the package.
No, so ironically...
I don't think you need to. I was just curious.
Ironically, that's just kind of what happened. And then after I had all of the packaging made and whatnot, I got it back to me, and I was like, whoa, all of the fruit on the package is what...
How funny.
So it was just ironic in that way. I had no clue.
Yeah. No, again, it looks great. I love that there's a different top and bottom at each, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Final segment that we love to do here, and then I promise I will leave you alone. I really do appreciate your time. We have the hot seat. We have just rapid fire questions that you got to answer, 1 to 2 sentences a piece. I'm going to put you on the spot. It's a hot seat, so you gotta get ready. All right, are you ready for this?
Ready.
What is your favorite fruit? Just period, fruit.
Blueberries.
Blueberries. Never tried those in this? They don't work?
They don't work, yeah.
Okay, bummer. What's your go-to workout to start your day?
I love a good back day.
Back day. Wow, love it. Best piece of advice you've received? Or favorite quote or something along those lines?
Favorite quote: how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
Boom. Favorite golf course you've played?
Cobblestone in Rochester.
Wonderful. What's your favorite healthy snack that's not this?
Any sort of fruit that isn't freeze-dried.
Nice, cool. Dream location for a golf vacation?
Carolinas.
I like that. All right. Final question. Most exciting part about running your biz?
I work when I want to.
All right.
It's my time. That's the biggest thing. I think I tell people that all the time. I get to work for me on my time when I want. And I can work at midnight. I can work at 2 a.m. I can do all different types of things.
Yeah. Any final kind of piece of advice for someone listening that they've listened all the way through this podcast? Again, maybe they're an aspiring entrepreneur. They have this business idea, but they just don't know how to start. Any kind of last thoughts for them?
Yeah. And I think entrepreneurship gets tied in with business, right? It's a self-starter kind of mentality, being able to go and do things on your own. I think that relates to physical well-being, mental well-being. I think it relates to, financial means. I think it's everything.
Yeah.
And so taking that risk, betting on yourself, like I've been saying, you are your biggest supporter. You are your biggest motivator. So continue to think in that way, and all things will come as they're supposed to.
It's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the In Good Company podcast, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. Thanks so much.